A lawsuit filed by federal employees alleges that the deferred resignation program, implemented by the Office of Personnel Management (OPM), is unlawful due to a lack of congressional authorization. The program, presented as a voluntary buyout option, has sparked significant controversy and raised concerns about potential coercion and the legality of its implementation. The plaintiffs contend that the program's structure and the pressure tactics employed to encourage participation violate established federal employment regulations and constitute an abuse of power. The OPM, in a communication ominously titled "Fork in the Road," outlined the program's terms, emphasizing that those declining the buyout would face stricter performance expectations and an elevated risk of layoff or involuntary reassignment. This communication, characterized by many employees as coercive, has further fueled the ongoing legal challenge. The email's stark tone and the implications of non-participation underscore the plaintiff's argument that the program is not truly voluntary, but rather a thinly veiled attempt to circumvent established procedures for workforce reductions. The lawsuit highlights several critical aspects of the program that raise legal concerns. Firstly, the lack of congressional approval constitutes a major violation of established legislative processes governing federal employment. The program's implementation without the necessary legislative oversight directly undermines the principles of transparency and accountability inherent in the functioning of the federal government. The plaintiffs argue that the OPM has overstepped its authority by unilaterally enacting a program with such potentially far-reaching consequences for federal employees. Secondly, the lawsuit emphasizes the inherent ambiguity and lack of guarantees surrounding the buyout offers. Employees at the Department of Education, for example, have reported concerns about the potential for arbitrary interruptions to their paychecks, with limited avenues for recourse should such. This lack of clarity and the potential for financial instability further contribute to the plaintiff's argument that the program is unfair and potentially exploitative. The perceived lack of safeguards and the potential for arbitrary decisions underscore the inherent risks associated with accepting the buyout offer, thereby undermining the claim of voluntariness. Furthermore, the lawsuit challenges the assertion that the program constitutes a genuine buyout. Instead, the plaintiffs argue that it represents a thinly veiled attempt to force experienced and potentially critical employees out of their positions, without the due process and financial protections afforded under established legal frameworks. The program's structure and the subsequent threats of enhanced scrutiny and potential job loss for those who choose to remain directly contradict the notion of a voluntary and fair offer. The OPM's initial deadline for acceptance of the deferred resignation program was met with swift legal action, leading to a temporary injunction. In response to the judge's order, the OPM extended the deadline, highlighting the legal complexities and the potential for further legal challenges. The extension, however, doesn't fully alleviate the concerns raised by the lawsuit, as it merely offers a slightly extended window to make a potentially coercive decision under duress. Statements issued by employee representatives strongly condemn the program, labeling it as an attack on federal workers and the services they provide. These statements emphasize the detrimental impact of the program on employee morale, job security, and the overall effectiveness of government services. The argument is that the program, irrespective of its legal standing, damages the professional environment and undermines the commitment of federal employees. The ongoing legal battle underscores a fundamental conflict between the OPM's attempts to manage its workforce and the legal rights and protections afforded to federal employees. The outcome of this lawsuit will likely have significant ramifications for future workforce management decisions within the federal government, setting a precedent for the implementation of similar programs and the balance between administrative efficiency and the rights of federal workers. The case highlights a critical need for increased transparency and accountability in the decision-making processes within the federal government, ensuring that all actions align with established legal frameworks and respect the rights of employees. The central question remains whether this deferred resignation program truly offers a voluntary option, or whether it constitutes an unlawful tactic to reshape the federal workforce.